Oh, hello there. Yes, well, that was Saturday. Bit dry, wasn't it? That's kind of weird almost these days. Yes, anyway, today I thought we'd have a look at everyone's favourite non-intellectual Carl Benjamin, who posted up something which caught my eye yesterday, which is about communism. Obviously, the scourge of, no doubt. Carl knows all about communism. I think he read a comic about it once. Yes. Anyway, he posted up, who could have imagined that misinformation, quoted, was a partisan slur used to marginalise and deplatform the political enemies of communists. Yeah, well, I would imagine you could, Carl, but you see, what he's done is he's reposted something from Bjorn Lundberg, who is a friend of Neil Oliver, the Coast guy, and he's into all of that definitely true stuff about conspiracies. And what Bjorn has done is he's put up misinformation experts are perhaps not quite unbiased. Experts lean strongly towards the left of the political spectrum. Few quotes there, and dated from Harvard Misinformation Bureau Review survey of 150 misinformation experts. Yes, and then we have a handy graph. You see, and there's a red line which is the centre, which is where Carl is, obviously, because he's a sensible centrist. And you can see that all of the people that they've spoken to are left of centre. But I thought what I'd do, because that's the kind of weird guy that I am, I'd actually read the thing, because it's down there in the small print, you can actually read it. And you get a survey of expert views on misinformation, definitions, determinants, solutions and future in the field, which is actually a really fascinating paper. Do have a look down below. It's very, very interesting about what people across a wide range of what we might loosely call the social sciences, that's what makes them left-wing, Carl. You're not going to get a lot of right-wing sociologists, psychologists and media people these days. It's just you, mate. Maybe Connor as well, but you know what I mean. So yeah, anyway, do have a read of it, because it actually is very, very interesting. You can see from how they've actually sort of got their views from people, actually from quite a range of people across the world, which is quite intriguing, very much an international study. And they do admit that it's a very small sample size, because when you're dealing with experts in misinformation, I would imagine there aren't a lot of them, Carl. But there we go. None of them strike me as, in terms of the people listed, who are in any way, shape or form actually communists. But there again, I don't think that Carl knows what a communist is. I think it's just anyone who's not wearing a brown shirt in a beer cellar, actually. Anyway, the thing that mainly caught my eye is this fascinating graph, which is sort of not graph, it's a bar chart, I suppose, isn't it? Which is where various people from different fields have talked about what they think misinformation is. So most of them, right, okay, do agree that things like pseudoscience, conspiracy theories, lies and deepfakes, you know, aren't necessarily misinformation as such. You know, there's this weird sort of thing going on whereby lots and lots of people are unsure about the extent to which propaganda actually is misinformation, which I think is a really fascinating subject. Not that you'd find that out from Carl, of course, because he hasn't read it, because Carl doesn't read things. He might sit in an armchair or wander around the British Museum poking his nose up against Roman artefacts, but when it comes down to it, he didn't get very much further than GCSE woodwork. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Perhaps Carl would like to sort of claim that he's actually got GCSE metalwork as well, but he's not an intellectual. And the problem, Carl, with people like you, is what you fail to understand is that old saying that reality is left-wing. People that are experts in the field of misinformation know what they're talking about because they're experts. And if they come up with views that are left of centre, it's probably because, you know, they've thought about things, read them, Carl, and then are able to make an informed decision, rather than just posting up something that they've happened to have seen from a bloke, what's a friend, of the coast guy. Yeah. Anyway, that was suitably patronising, wasn't it? But I mean, after all, it's Carl Benjamin. Let's face it, any slight knowledge of his past means that anybody can be patronising to him. It can't get any worse for him, can it? Yeah? Yeah? It's not going to be the thing written on his headstone, is it? It's not going to be he was patronised a lot. That's not going to be it. Anyway, do have a lovely Sunday. I don't know what I'm going to do today. Thrills and spills of having time. Ooh, I feel housework coming on, probably. Anyway, do have a good one.